I just wanted to say a little disclaimer here that this video is talking about the negative aspects of the Lolita community. There is very much so a positive aspect to our community, and I am not trying to ignore this. This is why I'm putting this disclaimer. This is about the bad parts of it. So I'm aware of a lot of the concrete and stuff like that that is normally online. There is a lot of really good advice and other things like that, and I am not speaking on that part. I am just telling you I am aware of this. I am not saying to ignore this, but I'm just disclaiming that I am talking about the negatives in this video. So, on to the video.
Hi everybody, sorry for the delay with the videos. I had a lot going on last week, so I wasn't able to make one, but I'm making one now. So I was originally going to be making a video about like a Lolita wishlist type of a video and things that I need in my wardrobe that I don't have, and I'm still planning on making that video, but that's probably going to be next week because lovely Laura, as you guys probably know, very big Lolita YouTuber, she made a video recently talking about kind of the things that are going on in the Lolita community that have been going on for a while now that probably need a little bit of tweaking. And I really liked the way that she made the video. I think it was very well made. I think that the topics were very well researched. She was able to connect to a lot of people that explained their concerns and their experiences, which I know I could relate to as well as I'm sure a lot of you can. So it was really great to have a voice with someone who did have more subscribers and is a very big influence, especially with newcomers in Lolita fashion. And for my channel, I really want to stress this for newcomers and also help and give good advice to newcomers without feeling intimidated. That's kind of my whole goal of my channel. Obviously, I'm going to be talking about stuff that I'm interested in too, like when I was saying the Lolita wishlist thing, but it's also going to be like advice driven stuff like I've done in the past, and that's kind of my goal because I feel like we are lacking that to an extent. And not to say that I'm the person that's going to come in and fix it, I'm just saying that I would like to be there and helpful to the people that need that. Anyways, I kind of wanted to make a response video, or kind of like a touching on the topics that she stated and my opinions on them. I definitely want you guys to check out her original video if you can. It's really well done. I'll put the link in the description, but you should definitely check it out, and I'm going to try to be listing my opinions in the same order as she did in her video. Let's get right into it. The first topic that she brings up is concrete, and she explains what concrete is, and it's essentially constructive criticism. And constructive criticism, like she mentions, is become a huge part of the Lolita community in the fashion in general, in the Western world at the very least. I obviously am from America, so that is all I can really talk about. But online, especially in the Western community, there is a lot of talk about concrete. And she kind of goes and explains how it's not really constructive criticism anymore, and there is obviously some, but a lot of the times it's just criticism that is seen a lot, and that is kind of a huge part of what makes people leave Lolita or even just never start it. And they always hear all these things about our community being so terrible. And I guess that in itself concerns me, is the fact that our whole community is seen as a negative to most people who aren't in it. I kind of question, why is that? Why is that a thing that is stated? Why is that one of our stereotypes? It's kind of a sad thing to hear. Obviously, it's not to say that we should just believe everything that is said about us, and it's not to say that the whole community is terrible, but I do think that there is some kind of truth in that statement. I think that there's a reason why people find us difficult or hard to get along with, and I think that that's an issue. I wrote some notes. Yes, I feel that there is immense pressure to ask for concrete, even if you don't really feel ready for it, which Laura explains with her video, how she says that she posted on LiveJournal her original first chord. She wasn't really ready for the concrete, and she asked for it, but she wasn't really ready for it, and that's why she took everything so hard, and that the people weren't really being mean to her, but she took it like they were because she wasn't ready for it. And that's extremely understandable. I feel like there is an intense pressure to post your first chord or to post any of your chords and to ask for advice for it, even if you don't actually want it. Even if you really like your outfit and you're proud of it, it's like you're so obligated to ask. And even if you do not ask, it still tends to come. And I feel like if you are starting out, or even if you aren't, you know, if you really like what you're wearing and you want to post it, go for it. If you don't feel like you want any advice on it, then don't ask for it. And if someone wants to give you advice, you could just be like, cool, thank you. Because genuinely, I don't think that a lot of people are meaning malicious intent by giving advice even when it is not asked for. So you could just be like, yeah, thank you, I appreciate you trying to help, and just kind of move on. Or you can just ignore it or delete it or whatever you want to do. But I think that's probably what I would do. But I can understand completely when you're happy with something and it feels like someone is trying to point out something wrong with it. And so I feel like it shouldn't be so intense in the pressure of like, you have to point out everything wrong and you have to be this perfect Lolita in order to wear Lolita. You have to follow all these rules, you have to coordinate all this intense ways, and if you use white as a base color, then that makes you seem like you're a newbie or something. And I don't know, there's just so many like small stereotypes within our own community that I feel like can cause a lot of toxicity. Like, why should we be afraid of looking like a newbie or something by wearing something like white? Or like, for example, I'm not wearing any accessories today besides my little hairpiece. And that's just because personally, like, I don't really care that much for accessories other than simple things. And sometimes I add accessories to my outfits, sometimes I don't. Like, I don't have any accessories on today, and it's because I just personally felt like I didn't need any. And obviously you can disagree with that, and that's all your own personal taste, you know? I just prefer more simplified things, and I don't think that should be considered negative or an insult to somebody's style. Like, oh, she's just too plain Jane. And the ultimate way to be an advanced Lolita is to do this advanced chording and do the most OTT coordinates and have these intense props and headpieces and all of this stuff that, you know, I feel like it's almost like changing the fashion to what it was. Lolita is a street fashion, or was a street fashion, and it's becoming more and more almost like costume wear because of that. And I'm not saying this to diss anybody who does like those things, because that is totally all you, and go for it. And I'm not saying anything's wrong with it. I think it's super cool, and I think it's impressive with a lot of things that people do. But I'm saying that there is a line that we're crossing for people who are coming in who are thinking, oh, this is what Lolita is, looking like a Disney princess, than what old school Lolita looks like and proto Lolita, where it's very obviously a street fashion. And it's kind of like, where is the balance? And can we harmonize with it? Because I think that's the issue. And I don't know, it probably sounds like I'm demonizing the other side because of my personal taste and bias, but I really don't have a problem with those people wearing that. I guess the problem I have is that it seems like that is what is being considered Lolita, and the other is not. Lolita really is a huge spectrum of style, and anybody can wear any type of style of Lolita, and they all have so many different silhouettes and shapes and sizes and colors and themes and everything. And I think we're just so easy to dismiss what Lolita is, and that's going into my next topic of preserving Lolita, which she says, and how she mentions that, you know, when someone wears something like sneakers, is what she had a picture of herself wearing pastel sneakers, which I think matched perfectly with the outfit, and that's my personal opinion, but I think it matched perfectly with the outfit. And a lot of people would jump on that and be like, hey, that's not Lolita, you were wearing sneakers, you need to wear like something like tea parties. And personally, I just don't understand how that can be misconstrued so far. How we can say that if you remove one aspect of an outfit that is very minuscule, like shoes or headwear. Let's say I'm not wearing a headpiece today besides this barrette. Am I automatically not wearing Lolita? Everything I'm wearing right now is a Lolita looking piece, and or is they're all Lolita pieces. So am I no longer wearing Lolita? I personally disagree with that. I think that that sounds quite ridiculous to say that somebody who is changing one small aspect of their outfit and still very well looks like that style is no longer wearing that style. And kind of what Laura said, I don't really care if somebody told me, you know, that's not Lolita, you're not wearing Lolita, because I kind of got over that. But I know at one point it did bother me, and I know that it bothers other people, and that's kind of why I'm stressing this point, is that like, okay, so what? If you don't want to consider it Lolita in your mind, that's fine. But at the same time, it shouldn't, I just feel like it should not be the norm, as like we're like looking for any little opportunity to tell someone that you're not a part of this fashion and that you're wearing it wrong. Like, why is that our go-to mindset, is to look for every little detail? I saw somebody in the comments saying how like they posted a picture of a coordinate and they're gonna ask for like, oh, what kind of a headbow should I wear? And someone didn't even read the caption of it on the post, and they just started like roasting them and saying that the outfit wasn't Lolita or something of that sort. And it was like, did you not even read? And I've seen that many times on Facebook groups and other situations online where people will ask a question or state something like, oh, by the way, this is not this, or this is the reason why I did this. And it's like people didn't read and they just went straight to the comments to type something like, this is wrong. And it's kind of like, why are we so why do we want to tell people that they're wrong and that they're doing badly, and shouldn't we like be supporting each other? And if you really dislike something about it, like, why do you want to say something unless it's actively harming somebody? You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously if it's something like impacting our community, then of course, you know, be an activist for that. But why do we have to be an activist for trying to make people feel bad? And I know that a lot of people are going to be saying that I'm just too sensitive for saying this, or that anybody else who feels this way is too sensitive to be in the community, and that we need to be mature and grow up. Personally, I feel like that just shows lack of emotional intelligence, to not be empathetic enough for telling somebody to make them feel terrible about something that they honestly enjoy and want to be good at and want to have friends with. Do you think that people are joining Lolita communities to be terrorized, to be roasted, to be isolated? It doesn't make sense to me why people want to do this.
Also, I just wanted to say, for Lolita being a community that is very accepting and understanding of mental illness, I would assume that we would be a little bit more sensitive to people, considering a lot of people struggle with mental illness, and being kind can prevent triggering people and just really makes for a smoother time for everybody. That's just something that I wanted to mention that I kind of forgot to mention, but yeah, I just think that that's a very important note.
I'm not dissing our community, because obviously I'm in it, and I love the fashion, and I want to make lots of friends in it, and that's why I have my YouTube channel. I want to connect with other people who empathize with what I'm saying, and who want to make the community a welcoming and better place. Most of the online community that I made friends with, most of them left Lolita because they legitimately got cyberbullied. And it wasn't like, oh, your cord is bad. It was like, you can't afford stuff, you're poor, get off the internet, you're fat, you're ugly, you smell bad. Like, stupid low blow, but also very hurtful stuff. Like, why? And it wasn't even CGL, guys. This is on public platforms. I mean, of course, the extreme that I just mentioned happened a few years ago, but it's ridiculous. Like, what? Like, what is this? Are we in middle school? I don't know. I know I'm like ranting a lot in this video, but I'm just like, it bothers me a lot. And I know that there are other people who feel this way too. I mean, Laura's video talks a lot about this stuff, and a lot of people agree with this, so I know that I'm not alone in this. That's kind of why I'm just saying my piece on it. The what to say to Ida's portion, I agree exactly with what Laura says here. Just don't say anything. Like, why? If something bothers you so much, just don't say anything. Just ignore it and move on. Because a lot of the times I see people just being like, I just can't stand when newbies ask the same question over and over. And it's like, if you can't stand it, then just ignore it, move on. It's kind of a controversial opinion to say that, because I had a lot of Ruffle chat debates about this, because it's kind of like, sure, it can be annoying if people don't look up whatever it is, if it seems easy to you to look up. I get it. But if it bothers you so much, I don't understand why you're going out of your way to be like, this is already online, look it up. You know, like, you don't have to be rude. I feel like that is like going out of your way to make yourself miserable. People will find other people who want to help those people will help them. So you can like ignore it and go on, you know? Don't worry about them. They'll be fine. And then the leaving the Lolita thing, I kind of touched on this. I've had many friends leave the community. It's just really disheartening, like, that me and multiple other creators and people who are in the Lolita community can all say that they've had many friends who left it, and not because necessarily that it wasn't their style. A lot of it was due to the community, and even myself, I've thought about leaving it. I left it for years, you know, taking a hiatus, but like, it's a lot. It's a lot of worry. It's a lot of stress of like, what if somebody doesn't like me, or like, I'm not making any friends, everyone feels like they hate me, like, why do we have to feel that way? Like, I don't know, it's just like it's just upsetting. And I hope that if you are thinking about leaving the community, maybe consider leaving some groups or not being as active, but still enjoying content that you enjoy, maybe as a bystander. And if that makes you feel better, that's totally fine too. If you want to continue like posting in the community and you're still just kind of like, I feel like no one cares about me, or that I'm being hated on all the time, but I still really like the fashion, I still really like posting, consider trying to limit where you're posting and who you're posting to and who you're talking to, and kind of try to sort out who you enjoy. I can understand being in group chats and stuff and not feeling like you're a part, or feeling like you're annoying or an issue in it. Yeah, I would recommend like looking at people that you follow maybe online. Maybe they have Discord servers, maybe your local community. I stress going to your local community because they are usually extremely understanding. My local community is really great. I do really like them. I definitely recommend every newcomer, before going on the online community, go to your local community, because they will be so much more understanding 9 times out of 10. If not, I'm so sorry that you have to experience that. But yeah, so that's kind of all I wanted to say. I know this is a long video and very ranty, so I apologize for that. I'm going to be making a normal-ish video next week, talking about actual Lolita items and everything like that. But I kind of wanted to say this because this is kind of what I want my channel to be the theme of, you know, and I want you to know that if you want any advice, feel free to ask me. I am always available. Comment down below anything about how you feel about this. And yeah, I'd like to hear from you. So, bye everybody.